I'm Peggy Alley. I started out my working life as a French and English teacher, and after having kids I changed completely and went into nursing, and I did labor and delivery nursing most of my life. I'm also a wife and a mother and a grandmother and a great-grandmother. Well, I've had cancer for 4 years. I still have cancer. I am surviving, so it's not a past tense yet. So it'll be 4 years next March. I have ovarian cancer, and it's something I like to talk about because it's one of those cancers that doesn't get much press, like breast cancer and lung cancer and colon cancer, and yet it kills many, many women all over the world because it's not curable. I remember very well the moment I found out I had cancer. I had had a CAT scan a week earlier because of some symptoms I was having. And now they will post results on your chart on the computer. So I was going shopping at Target, and I had kept checking my phone to see if the results were up. And I was looking for birthday cards for my mother and my sister. And it wasn't up, and it wasn't up, and then all of a sudden it was up. So I read it, and I was expecting that I might have a cyst or something in my pelvis. But because I'm a nurse, the way that it was worded, I knew what they were saying. I knew that it was cancer. So I was standing in Target when I realized that I had a deadly cancer. So the symptoms I had that led me to the doctor, that's a big concern in ovarian cancer because they're late, they come late. So women the cancer has really progressed before they realize that anything's wrong. It's very vague symptoms that doctors don't realize are a problem until they've done many, many tests, and sometimes the tests aren't done because they're such vague symptoms. You have trouble urinating, you feel a little bloated, that kind of thing. It could be a million different things. And so when they finally realize, they finally do the definitive test to find that it's ovarian cancer, it has progressed, and that's the reason that it's so difficult to treat, and it's still not curable. Well, after I realized what I was looking at standing in Target, I called my doctor, who was out of town. So I was kind of in this funny place for several hours, and I decided not to tell anybody for a day. I just felt like I needed to sit with it, and I didn't really know all the details. I just knew what I had, and I just had to kind of get my head around it. So I didn't even tell my husband until about 24 hours later. And I just told him that it looked bad, and it looked like I had cancer, and it was difficult. We cried, and then I had children and grandchildren and friends to tell, and I did that over a period of time in different ways. I have a son who cries at the drop of a hat, and I have a daughter who's stoic. So, but everybody's been very supportive and wonderful, and I'm trying to be very open with them as the disease, it is progressing again. And talk to them as much as I can and let them talk to me, and some do and some don't. So the treatment for ovarian cancer is a major surgery. They call it debulking. It sounds like they carve out the inside of a pumpkin, and that's kind of what you feel like. They really do a major clean out, and then you have chemo for about 6 months. Many women, once they've had that initial surgery and that chemo, they will go into remission, and some of them, depending on the type of cancer, because every woman has a genetic marker in their cancer. Your cancer is different from her cancer or her cancer. And so many women will go into remission for months, and sometimes the lucky ones will go into a remission for years. But it always comes back. It resurfaces, and then you have to have treatment again. So I did the big surgery and the initial 6 months chemo, but I was only in remission for 6 months, and then I had to start again. And I had a series of chemos over the last several years and a second surgery. So the side effects from the treatment of almost any cancer are sometimes worse than the disease itself. Chemo kills normal cells as well as the cancer cells, and so you get sick in all different kinds of ways, mostly nausea and vomiting. The drug I've been on for the last 2 years is extreme fatigue. I kind of work my day around napping. You can get skin rashes, all of these I had, mouth sores. But as once you do the chemo and you're over the chemo, those symptoms dissipate and you have a little bit of quality of life before you go on to the next treatment. So it's difficult. It's part of the disease. Well, it's a learning process. I mean, everybody's different, and you just kind of take it a day at a time, and depending on who you are and how you live your life. You know, I'm in a support group with just ovarian cancer survivors, and everybody handles it differently. Many of them are angry. Some of them are determined to fight to the bitter end, no matter what their quality of life is. Other people are more accepting. It's just like the way you live your life. That's how you survive your cancer. So it's very different for everybody. I think I'm just a positive person. I always have been, a little bit of a Pollyanna in me. And I get down, but overall, I mean, this is the only life I have, and so I'm going to enjoy it as much as I can, and that's what I'm trying to do. So.
Thank you so much.